Hey guys, and welcome back to another Unfiltered Gamer, Kickstarter, card game, board game, dice game review. And today's game up on the table is Space Invaders Dice by Turn 1 Gaming Supplies. It is a 1 to 4 player game. It takes about 15 minutes to play, and it's for ages 8 and up. It's a simple solitaire-style Yahtzee mechanism where you're simply rolling dice and attempting to destroy as many spaceships as you can. They're listed on these little field charts here. And you play by yourself or with multiple players, and you're rolling as much as you can until you take damage. When you take damage, your score chart gets damage filled up on it. You're going to start losing points, and eventually you're going to die. Then you're going to add up all the points you've gotten from killing all of the spaceships, and the person who has the most points at the end of the game is the winner. Seems simple enough? That's because it is. Let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. Okay guys, so this is what Space Invaders Dice looks like. You're going to get your Space Invaders Dice over here, which you get 8 of these attacker dice, points dice that involve killing this top row, and then these little blaster dice, which will block your ability to shoot through certain areas. I'll explain that in a second. Then you get this little score sheet, and there's plenty of other ones here for all your player needs. And Space Invaders Rulebook. Now I have a couple of these little stones here, or these little see-through squares, which I'll be using for the video, and you can use at home if you have anything like this, so that you can cover up the pieces and not use up the paper. I'm kind of like that, but you don't need to. You can simply go ahead and take a pen or a pencil and mark off these pieces of paper right here. Alright, this is the basic idea of how you set up the game. Let me go ahead and talk about how you play it. Okay, so to begin playing Space Invaders Dice, you need to start with these 3 white dice that they give you. Now they're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with a little squiggly line. That just simply means that it's like a blockade of sorts. On your first roll of the dice, you simply roll both of them, and whatever number you get, maybe it'll say 8, then you're going to go ahead and place one of these guys on the 8 on the chart, which is labeled right over here at the bottom. Then you're going to go ahead and roll 2 dice again, and whatever you get, maybe you got 6, and then you block 6 off. And finally, on your last roll, you simply take the last die you have left, and you roll that one, and you get 1, and you place it there. So those 3 spots are not going to be able for you to attack this round. Afterwards, you take all 8 of these wonderful dice, these Space Invaders dice, and you roll them on the table. After that, you're going to align them, and you need to do damage first off to the blue column, and then after you kill the 2 blues, you can go for the greens, and then the pink. Now, the final one is a red one, and that's the UFO. That's the big money right there. Now, in order to get to this one, you have to destroy everything else. And if you roll, maybe you roll 2 blues and a green, you'll be fine. You can destroy all these 3. But let's say you roll, I don't know, 6 blues, a green, and a red. Well, all the dice that you've rolled that you can't actually make marks on the paper because you're unable to go up the line, you're going to take damage due to them. You can also take damage by simply rolling a red X. So you have to be able to place all of your dice, if possible, as long as you can place them. So if you place all 8 blues, you're going to be fine. But if you have a bunch of reds or a bunch of X's, you're going to take a lot of damage. And in the corner of the little chart here, you're going to have the top row, the bottom row, and the far left-hand side was where you're going to take your damage. If that ever fills up, you lose. And you're going to score points equal to the spaceships you destroy as you roll. Now you can, like Yahtzee and other games, roll again. However, if you choose to roll again, you can choose whatever dice you would like. You're going to take double damage for all of the dice you roll that do not equal up to attacking. So if you can't place them on the board somewhere, those are going to be double damage. So you're going to make the decision as to, is it worth to take the 1 damage or the 2 damage now? Do you want to roll again? But if you do roll again and you get those 1 or 2 damages, it's actually going to be 2 or 4 damages, which is nasty. So it's a good deciding factor there. If your board ever fills up the top left and bottom rows with X's, you will lose the game, like I had said. Or if you destroy everything, you win the game. And as you destroy all of these these little spaceships here, the top column here, every time you destroy them, only requires any side of the die. So you can get a blue and destroy any of these pink ones. But if you have to mark them off due to damage, or because on a turn they're going to be moving off the screen, you're going to lose the ability to kill these guys. Let me go ahead and show you a couple turns. Okay, so let's take a first turn for the game. You take these 3 over here and you roll them. Oh, just 2 actually, sorry. 8. All right, that works. So you put it on the 8. 2 more. Roll it again. 1 and 4 is 5. And then the last one, let's see what we get here at 2. So you place all these guys here. Now these columns are blocked. You can't shoot these rows. Then you grab your dice here and you make a good roll. Ooh, look at that. These guys here will stop these guys from not letting you be accessible, so you can actually shoot through them now. These blue ones are great, so you can get through and blow things up. Oops, sorry. This is a green one here. And then right here, you got 2 blues, 2 greens, and finally this pink one here, which take that top one. Now, unfortunately, you rolled this one pink one here. And because of that, you can't destroy pink row because there's nothing left to destroy. The question is, do you want to re-roll that again? If you choose not to, you take 1 single damage, and you push one of these markers here or exit out, and you end your turn and start again. Or actually, you can use this pink marker here to blow up this red little alien spaceship, this UFO. And you simply roll the dice here, this big one here. Boom, 250. All right, so you get 250 points plus all the rest of this entire row, which is what? 30, 20, 20, 10, and 10. And here we have some actual markers that we can mark the rows down. Here, this row here. And that row is done. And then we'll do it again. So these guys will move off. These dice will go over here. And we'll simply roll these guys here. 4 and 2 is 6. 5 and 4 is 9. And the final one, 1. Okay. No big deal. Take these 8 dice here and roll them again. Ooh. So these ones here are wild, so I can use either it on green or blue. So we'll go for this right here. These 2 greens work. Oops, these 2 greens work. This one here actually opens up a space, so I'll just put it there. And then we got a blue one, which is nice. Now we can't shoot through this row. But we have a green and a pink, and neither one of these. We can't get to the green here, we can't get to the pink one here. But we can get one right here. Okay, that'll work. Oh, and once again, got that red one right there. So that takes care of that row. Wow, this is nice. I'm not taking any damage. All right. Okay, so we've cleared 2 rows now, and every time you clear 2 rows, you're going to lose one of your die, which is going to be a little more painful for you. So every 2, 4, 6, you're going to go down to very small amounts of dice, more likely to take damage. That being said, also on the end of every turn, you're going to have to mark off one of those top red alien UFOs. They're going to be leaving as the turns progress. So trying to destroy them as fast as possible is important. In multiplayer, there's also a variant where players are going to be marking off UFOs from your space. So other than that, though, we managed to clear 2 rows and didn't take much damage at all, so that's great. And at the end of the game, like I said, if you score up your points with everybody else, and the person who gets the most points is the winner of Space Invaders Dice. All right, let me tell you what I think about it. All right, guys, so that's how you play Space Invaders, the dice game. It's a simple little solitaire game that involves a little bit of a Yahtzee mechanic and a little bit of a crossing out, removal of all the different spaceships and stuff like that. The game is very simple with just crossing up the lines, and if you get all the X's on all the corners, you're going to end up losing the game. And you score up your points, and the person who scores the most points is the winner. The solitaire mode is probably my favorite aspect of the game because I can play it anywhere I want. If I'm on a plane, or if I'm on a train, or a bus, or whatever, it's a really small little surface area playing, and it's great using the pen. Now, obviously, I like to keep my stuff as clean as possible. So I like to use the little cubes, but if I'm ever taking this anywhere, I'm definitely going to be using a pen and a pencil. I also like the aspect of how you're not going to be able to shoot in certain areas by rolling these dice every turn, as well as the fact that you're going to have this little green remover that lets you attack there actually, if you can muster the rolls. I also enjoy the fact that the last most dangerous, or the hardest things to get, the most points, actually give you that bonus to being able to play any single one of these little colors on it, which makes life a little easier, at least at the beginning of the game. You can die very easily in this game, though. I've had people lose, I don't know, in like 3 or 4 turns by just overdoing the rolls and taking that double damage, 6 and 8 damage over and over again. Another really cool thing is this little wild dice. It determines how many points you're going to be able to get. Now, it's kind of luck based on how many points you get, but if you're skilled in placement, you're going to do very well in this game. And understanding what rows you're going to destroy at the end of the game, because the end game is really the goal of what you need to focus on in this game, because that's when you need to decide, do I want to keep going after row after row after row, or do I want to break this up so I can have a couple greens if I roll a bunch of greens, or if I want to have just all blue, or maybe I want to have save the pinks. So that kind of stuff is really important. Losing the red spaceships at the top is, I guess, a necessity. It kind of adds a little bit of spice to the game, determining, okay, it's the end of the game now, and which one of these top guys do I want to lose? Because if I lose too many of them, or if I choose the wrong one next turn, I might not be able to get it. And that is the case for, a lot of things in games, deciding what's important. But it's a very, very simple little solitaire game. That being said, it is a solitaire game. I mean, even in the multiplayer, it does have a couple little multiplayer functions, and I did play it with 2 and 3 players. If you're playing with 4 or more, you're going to want 2 of these games. And it's there, it's fun, people enjoy scoring against each other, but realistically you can all play solitaire, and you could you could play it with your house for a day and give it to your friend the next day, and he can play it, and you come back and you compare your scores. do whatever you want with it. But if you don't like the Yahtzee solitaire style games, you're definitely not going to like this game. However, if you do, this is bringing a nice little spice to it. I also enjoy the fact that these guys have went out of their way to make wonderful, wonderful mats. This is a nice one. The other one was the retro one. So they're beautiful. You can also get on their site these really cool dice. They're like Space Invaders dice. They're just D6s, but they got little Space Invaders on them. Love this stuff. This is what it was. This is they gave me all this stuff for free to review the video. So full disclosure, but wonderful stuff. I love retro. I love Space Invaders. It's a great theme. I do feel like the spaceships are moving around on the board, even though they're just kind of solitary and stationary right here. But yeah, overall, a really, really fun game. If you're a big dice roller, if you like a lot of luck, then you're going to really like this game. The replayability is there. It's not as high as a lot of games because it's based on how you play the game, which will determine if there's a lot of replayability or if you're going to play it over and over again the same way. Alright guys, thanks for watching another Unfiltered Gamer Kickstarter dice game review. If you like this video and like to see more, go and check out the rest of our content here on YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, please. Everything helps. As well as checking out the wonderful content by the Turn 1 Gaming Supplies. You've got the Space Invaders Dice and the beautiful play mats, as well as just the regular Space Invaders Dice. It's like they're sold separately. Wonderful quality, wonderful components, and a really nice little solitaire game. Also, don't forget to check out all of our stuff, our sites, unfilteredgamer.com, as well as even my friends, thecardboardstacker.com. We've got tons of giveaways, blog posts, and more. Go ahead and check that stuff out, as well as checking out our sponsors and affiliates over here, the Giveaway Geek, Everything Board Games, Devitus, bunch of great people with a bunch of great products and a bunch of great blogs, all value for you. Alright guys, that's all I got to say today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.